Some lesbians have dicks. Stop making jokes about how lesbians don't like dick.
What even is a lesbian anymore? I swear these people live in a made-up reality in their own heads.
The system's always broken, I know what it's like. Did my part, it did nothing like it often does. I'm not gonna stop caring, scream or drink or cry.
And somehow the song is not the most offensive part of that video. And honestly, I'm not sure why I put this video in here. I just thought it was ridiculous and I had to like mess with you guys a little bit because I feel like reviewing these videos every week makes me crazy. So I feel like I just wanted to make you guys feel a little bit crazier this week. Just for a second. It's gonna get better. But honestly, are these types of people even living on the same planet as us? Calling themselves shapeshifters for just moving their hair? Girl, nobody's fooled. They have their own rules, their own identities, their own timelines.
Did you know that queer and trans people actually experience time completely differently to cishet people? It's a concept called queer temporality. Queer and trans people, our lives have started much later and for a whole bunch of reasons ended earlier. So as a result, our experience of time is compressed. Heterochronology.
See, we used to just call this gay years. Like, this was a thing before you think this was a thing. Just because you weren't around when it happened doesn't mean it didn't happen, okay? Pixar didn't happen wasn't a thing back then because we didn't have cell phones. And the older gays over the age of 25 know what gay years means. If you know, you know. And if you don't know, now you know. Gay 18 is the straight 30. And if you're over 40, unless you're a daddy, your dating pool has just diminished by like 85%. Lesbian years is basically just another way of saying all the emotions. I'll explain. Lesbians tend to move super fast in relationships. So if a straight couple has been together for like 20 years, we would say, wow, that's like 2 lesbian years. People are absolutely so privileged out here that they are inventing ways to become more oppressed. No makeup, no need to shave, and normally don't share face. But I was inspired by my fellow trans hijabi sisters who recently shared. But wait, there's more.
I'm looking for a man who's at least 6'1". Brown eyes, big nose, thick curly hair. Hairy, just like furry, carpet on his chest. Not a Zionist. From a Baba culture. Muslim or open to converting.
A lot of people ask me why I have been single for the last 7 years. Honestly, this is part of it. People are f***ing off their rockers. People like myself are so frustrated that, well, people not really like myself, people that are not like myself, because it's people like Emma Watson and Sam Smith, are becoming so frustrated with dating, I'm assuming, that they are now calling themselves self-partnered. If you are self-partnered, does that make you gay? Emma Watson announces that she's self-partnered and clarifies what it means. Somebody said, we used to call it desperate and dateless. Somebody else said, this is just another way to say no one will date me. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I have a little bit of a nuanced opinion on this. Sometimes a bitch just wants to sit out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like me being single for 7 years, like I had enough of the bullshit. I just want what's real, and real ain't reeling right now. People are nuts right now. Have you seen the dating pool? And yeah, sometimes it does get lonely, and sometimes you want to practice your moves, and sometimes you just want to talk to somebody who gets you. And that's where my friends over at Polybuzz come in. Polybuzz is an app that uses AI chat features to talk with thousands of characters. If you're feeling creative or even a little frisky, you can even create your own characters for others to interact with. There are over 10 million users worldwide. And listen, there's gotta be somebody out there for you to talk to when you're feeling a little crazy. With as many fake identities as there are in the real world, there are personalities to interact with on this app. This month, I decided to create another character of mine, because you know I've worked with Polybuzz before. I decided to create a lived out character who's an activist, who has purple hair, who's offended by everything. Here's some of the convo.
Yeah. Just got here today. And what makes you think I'm a woman?
And then I asked her where the women's restroom was, assuming that she was a woman. And I said, well, you look like a woman. And she said, well, what if I'm not a woman? Are you going to assume I'm a man? I said, are you offended? She said, no, I'm just messing with you. I am a woman. I just wanted to see if you kept assuming my gender. So I said, do you think there are more than 2 genders? She said, well, yeah, there are countless genders, and the whole 2 genders thing is pretty archaic, don't you think? But with Polybuzz, you know what you're getting yourself into. If you just want to have some fun, if you want to practice arguing with leftists so you can debate them better later on, download the Polybuzz app. The link is in the description below. And use code ARI33 in the search bar in the app to unlock premium features. And, of course, by doing so, you are supporting companies that support our morals and this channel. And when you finally do find the courage to go on dates, this is what that shit could be like.
I have built a beautiful life for myself. I'm happy with my life where I'm at, my job. I'm successful. I'm independent. I'm healthier than I've ever been. I take such good care of myself. Truly, the only thing I'm missing in my life is someone to enjoy it with. And I'm so sick of waiting Like, when is it going to be my turn?
I feel you, sis. I do. I really do. Somebody said she's upset because she wants to find a person to build a life with, not realizing that she already built the life. Hence, why post-life built dating phase is so difficult, or phase dating is difficult. This is why we tell you to get engaged at 23. I don't know if I agree with that. Hannah responded to him and actually had a really good point. She said, I'm so tired of seeing people dunk on women like this. Many women would gladly get married at any age, but few men are pursuing that in their 20s. When women don't find someone early on, we tell them it's about them, that they just need to work on themselves, be okay on their own, pursue their own interests, and we do. Most of us do. They use their time and become successful in their work. Hi, I'm one of those people. Financially, well-rounded with hobbies and social circles. Again, hi. And then people say that they can't find a man because they're a boss babe or asking for too much. What they should be asking is why men aren't leveling up during their single time. Most women don't have crazy high standards. I'm astounded at the things many women put up with and accept. The bar is pretty low and men still aren't reaching it most of the time. I mean, the good thing is if all of this still doesn't work out for us, there's always sex robots. You know, shit bad when sex robots are starting to look good. And that one is kind of starting to look, I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm kidding. Some people are going to go for this.
How do I know that I'm a woman deep down? Probably because my girlfriend's a lesbian. I'm a trans woman, but before I came out of the closet, my lesbian friend had a crush on me. Me when I was a man. They had a crush on twink me and they were super confused about it. And then I was like, I need to tell you something, girl. And then I came out as a woman to her and she was like, that's why. Oh my God, I pre-ordered you.
Okay, no, this is not how any of that works. This reminds me of an ex-friend who once told me that before she came out as a trans woman, she was dating a woman, she was married to a woman, that her ex-wife wasn't straight because her ex-wife had dated her and she was a trans woman. But this was before she transitioned medically, socially, any of that. Tell me you don't understand sexual orientation without telling me you don't understand sexual orientation. If you're a woman and you're attracted to somebody that looks like a man, that is male, that have male parts, you are not same-sex attracted. You're not bisexual, and you're certainly not a lesbian. You know what? Maybe I will just go old school, go to a lesbian bar, right? How much crazy could I potentially find there? What's the worst that could happen? Maybe I'll see my ex.
Hi, I'm a Gold Star lesbian, and behind me is a dyke bar. I'm going to talk to you about the politics of dyke bars. As a male body invading a female space, I love lesbian bars, particularly for two reasons: the conversations and the opportunity to be a male body invading a female space.
Yeah, pass, obviously. So I heard this news story that there's a woman who slept with 100 men in one day to break her own record, or so break a record, and her post is going absolutely viral on X. It's a hot mess.
I think sometimes feeling so robotic, by the 30th, you know, when we're getting on a bit, I've got a routine of how we're gonna do this, and it just, sometimes you'd disassociate and be you know, it's not normal sex at all.
And listen, being an old school sex positive person, right? I do have an OnlyFans account. I am fairly sex positive, but I still believe that in order to be sex positive, the sex and the people that you do the sex with need to be positive. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are we continuously degrading ourselves and our bodies like this? And I think this all starts to happen when we can no longer differentiate between science and feelings. I actually interviewed a few kids at Orlando Pride, and kids, by kids I mean over the age of 18, but younger than me. And I interviewed them about gender, about sex, about politics, and most of these people couldn't even tell me the difference between what a male and a female was without worrying that they were gonna offend somebody or that they were gonna be politically incorrect.
What would you perceive me as?
Male.
Okay. So if I were to pull down my pants and I have a vagina, where would you go from there?
What kind of vagina is it? Is it a man-made one or is it a biological one?
Who's to say?
Science.
Is there a difference?
Yes, there is. I've seen both of them. There's a big difference. Yes, I have. I have a lot of transsexual women friends, yes. They love showing their vaginas to lesbians. They love it. They think it's the funniest thing ever for some reason.
Oh, you're a lesbian.
Yeah.
Oh.
They love it. I am a Trump supporting lesbian. They love showing their vaginas to me. I've seen 3 of them, yeah. And they all look different, and they all function different. Yeah, they all function differently. This becomes a huge issue when we can no longer define sex. Listen to what this non-binary person said when I told them, or her, but whatever, when I told this person that Trump was going to make the only legal genders, male and female again. What do you think of Trump's policy that he's going to make only male and female the genders again, the true genders?
I didn't even know that was a thing that he said.
Yeah. Well, it's on his website, Agenda 47.
Legally, just
male and female genders, yeah.
I mean, that kind of invalidates my existence as a whole. Just
how?
On principle.
How though?
Because I'm in terms of
you're existing. You're still existing.
Yeah, but that's not it's not acknowledging my gender, because sex and gender are different things.
Right.
So obviously my sex is female. That's correct. That will always be correct.
And listen, I do think that the majority of these people mean well, so don't give them hate in the comments. It's not what this video is about. It's not what any of my videos are about. You can critique their concepts, but don't critique them. I think we're in a great limbo, honestly, because most people can't define their actual stances on things because a lot of us are still learning. There are more studies coming out in regards to gender and sexuality and all these other things. And honestly, we all want to be on the right side of history, no pun intended. And I think if you actually take the time to talk to the majority of these people, of course not the crazy far people on the left, but the majority of people who think they're on the left, and explain your side of things, they usually come around. I mean, it literally only took me like 45 seconds to get this non-binary person to go from saying that kids should transition to maybe kids shouldn't transition.
Yeah, that definitely limits trans kids' options. It's not.
Do you think kids should be able to transition medically?
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Okay. Yeah, that it saves lives, because
it also ruins lives, by the way. So let's be fair. There's a lot of, you said it, I think, didn't you say yourself, there's a lot of detransitioners out there.
Yeah.
And I think most of us are in the center, right? We want to believe that if a kid really is transgender through and through, that their gender dysphoria is not going to go away, they should be able to transition. But we don't know. That's the thing. A lot of kids grow out of it. Yeah. A lot of kids, even when they turn 25, their brain fully develops. I have friends of mine that transitioned as kids and realized that's not for them.
It's different when you're a kid, yes. I think, me personally, I would not have transitioned if it was possible for me. I don't feel a need to. But back when I was a teenager, I really wanted to because of the environment I was in. And now that I'm an adult, you're
out of your echo chamber, and you're around other people, and you're saying possibly that you don't need to transition.
It was a self-growth thing for me, where I feel comfortable in my own body now. But before,
that's a beautiful thing, by the way.
I was extremely dysphoric. So I think being able to medically transition in general, like in terms of if you're an adult and you want to medically transition, I think that should absolutely be possible because you know what you're doing at that point.
I agree with you. I agree. I think adults should be able to transition, yes.
Children, it's a different matter because you're still developing and you don't know what's going to happen in a couple of years.
Today's spiritual sense take is a little bit different. I want to make sure that we understand that when things become too blurred, when we lose sight of who we actually are, when we lose ourselves, when we don't even realize the capability that we have, like what are we? Are we just a body? Are we just our minds? Are we just what we think of who we are? Are we what others perceive us to be? Are we all of that combined? More importantly, it's good to know how to make us feel better and how to help us heal from all of this. And realize if we're acting from a place of ego, which would be needing to be right, or working from our hearts and our souls and needing to simply be better. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and go and check out the Polybuzz app. Go and support companies that support our messages, your morals, and this channel. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Do it now! I will see you guys back here in a few days on Sunday with a brand new video. Until then, I love you. Love yourselves. Keep calling out the bull. Bye.